I judge these grades as a professor. So this is not the Micah Parsons trade, okay? Just letting everybody know. This is not Micah Parsons. That was a fail. We get it. Now it's time to move on. I like Quinnen Williams. I like him a lot. At the very least, he's a very good player. At best, he's an all-pro level player. So I like adding him. I am not buying into the, they're only 3-5-1. Why are they adding him? Because I look at it as a future. He's only 27. He's great, unlike Kenny Clark, who's great against the run, but, okay against the pass. This guy's great against the run and the pass. So he's a good pass rusher, but also great against the run. And at 27, he'll be around, should they want him for a few years, several years. And they have him locked up for a few years already. Aaron Donald played to 32. Chris Jones still going strong at 31. So you got him for a few years. While I understand the value of draft picks, I think sometimes they can be overrated in that I think they give fans hope and they give GMs, maybe bad and sometimes bad GMs, a little life. Okay. A little hope, a little extra time. So again, I understand the value of picks, but all picks don't hit. And that you have to make those picks hit. So they got a proven commodity in Quinnen Williams in contrast to somebody that might not be that good. I had this graphic. Now, these are number 1 picks since 2014. 2 of them are legitimately great players, Joe Burrow and Myles Garrett. And then Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff have become very good players, but had a, kind of a rocky road and been around the mulberry bush. And those are number 1 picks. So I'm just saying, just having picks, I feel the same way in the NBA.
Bad take.
They can add value for trades and stuff, but if I can get a young, proven player that I already know is good, I want him. So I didn't go overboard, but I didn't kill him. I think it was a B.
Okay.
You thought I was going to say A?
I love this bit.
I think it's a resounding F.
Yikes!
Wow.
And I so fundamentally and vehemently disagree with how the evaluation of the value of draft picks in the NFL. In the NBA, Brew, I agree with you in large part because the NBA is about having a couple real difference makers. But you look at every good team across the league and who their best players are and how they got them. And 90% of the best players on the best teams are homegrown guys. Everyone that matters on the Cowboys, aside from George Pickens. Is a guy they drafted.
Javonte.
Javonte, right? But and I also think that is I don't look at Javonte as a foundational piece. I think he's having a nice year. You're right that it is fair to look at the Micah trade as finished business and the Quinnen Williams trade as separate business. That's fine.
Because I get it. If you combine them,
it's a disaster. Yeah. But I do think it's okay, since the main capital changing hands in this one way and then the other way was draft picks, is to judge this trade on, did you overpay? The Micah trade, and I will do this as quickly and simply as possible, according to the draft value pick charts, essentially, was worth 474 points. That's approximate because you don't know exactly where those picks are going to be. In this trade, the Cowboys sent out 437 points. So that difference is the equivalent of about the 100th pick of the draft. So they got back for Micah Parsons barely more than they gave out for Quinnen Williams, according to the draft value charts. That is disastrous. That is either you think they absolutely robbed Green Bay blind, or that they way overpaid for Quinnen Williams, or I guess the third option is Quinnen Williams and Micah Parsons are very close in caliber of players. Like those are and I don't think they robbed Green Bay blind, and I don't think Quinnen Williams is close to the caliber of player Micah Parsons is.
Yeah. The one thing I know going into this clip right now is that everybody is split on this. This is truly 50-50, like right down the middle. People either absolutely love this or absolutely hate this. That is what I learned yesterday, making my videos, reading the comments, seeing what other people's takes are all around the league. It's just, this is so divided. People are either like, this is awesome, I'm excited, this is great, or they absolutely hate it and they think it's a disaster. And that's always fascinating to me when you have two such extremes. And I really mean that. It has been two big extremes. Ironically, the most kind of neutral was Brew with B. Like, that's the closest to like the middle ground I got. Now the thing is, I understand them trying to separate Micah from this, but I don't think you can, because it's all part of the same chain of events. Now, I'm a proponent of moving on from the whole Micah conversation. When Colin kept talking about Micah, I was like, dude, it's October. It's like the middle of October. Like, why are you still bringing up the Micah Parsons trade, et cetera, et cetera? And now it's kind of funny because here we are. People are like, stop talking about Micah. Like, let's just look at this trade on its merit. Like Nick was saying, fine, we can do that. Dealing with the trade picks right now, and I know obviously the Cowboys still have their draft picks, first rounds and whatnot. Again, the whole thing that remains to be my take, that there's really no other way to say it in any other different way. So it really is just a repeat for me, is that you have this very specific timeline right now of Dak Prescott. Even some of the guys that you have right now, like a CD, like Williams, you really are at their peaks, at their maximum, when you're going to get the most juice out of them right now, the most maximal impact right now is going to be these next 3 years. And so you do need impact players right now. And that's why always moving on from Micah was always a little tricky to me. But if you move on from Micah, now you have the draft capital. It's to kind of work that to get other immediate impact players now. The timelines to me just continue to be staggered in a way that doesn't feel productive. And it's one of those things where you now both are getting some impact players, but then also now giving up draft capital that at least allows you to draft someone that could be a day one starter, that at least by maybe year 2 or that third year, they're in a great position now to because it takes a couple years for these players to really become who they're supposed to be. So with the draft picks, if you keep all the draft capital and you just draft people, then your timeline is really off now. Because by the time now you really have these players making an impact on your team, Dak Prescott's like 35, 36, CeeDee Lamb's now 30, and we can keep saying, oh, players are playing longer and better, longer and all that. Like, yeah, there's truth to that, but it's not 100% the norm. And we're using examples of players who have such elite talents, like a Stafford. He has an all-time great arm. Aaron Rodgers is an elite all-time great. Go look at Russ. Go look at some of these other players that are hanging on. It's a lot harder for them to hang on, and try to figure out where you think Dak is going to lie on that time, especially as someone like Dak, who's been injured a lot, who's had a lot of surgeries, who's been banged up a lot. And I'm sorry, he's not Aaron Rodgers, and he does not have an arm like Joe Flacco. That's just the reality. And it's not like Joe Flacco is this all-time great special talent. But he certainly doesn't have an arm like Stafford. I know people love to boost up Dak Prescott. He's a really, 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 really good quarterback. Look at Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is struggling. Okay. And Dak and Kirk are a lot more similar than many people ever want to admit. And so that is where my issue is, that you're trying to win right now with Dak Prescott, with CD, keep George Pickens. Like, that is your core right now, and it should have been Micah. And your choices should have come from those actions, from that foundation. And now things are staggered, and now you went and got another player who can be an impact player right now, obviously. But then you're then giving up other capital that you had to then use that to get more than just him as an impact player. And now it's just a weird, like, the example that I used yesterday is that, like, you're changing out the can, but you're still kicking the can down the road. I can't make sense of the timeline. That's what I kind of can keep coming back to. I can't make sense of the timeline. And again, I hate to use the Eagles as an example because I know as soon as I mention the Eagles, Cowboys fans are going to be like, I don't want to hear it. But we can also use the Rams as an example too. It's like going out and getting immediate impact players that you know that are going to help you to win today, right now, and really building that. You have to commit. You have to commit to that path. You can't do 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You can't be like, well, we're kind of setting ourselves up for the future, but we're also trying to improve right now. That's different if Dak's 25 years old, sure. But he's not. I'm telling you right now, if you think Dak Prescott's going to be balling and wheeling and dealing when he's like 36 years, it's just not going to happen. I just don't see it happening. I do not see it happening. The guy's already getting up, acting all ginger when he's getting hit right now. Like, he's an old, what is he, 32? Yeah, he'll be 33 by next season. He's an old 33. He's an old 33. He's playing great right now, absolutely. Looking good. But I'm telling you, he's got a lot of miles, a lot of surgeries, a lot of injuries on his body. A lot. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's these 3 years of going all, like, and when Jerry kept saying we're going all in, I mean, think about that. Think about when Jerry said that, like, last year, and I think probably the year before that. He's like, we're going all in. This is not what all in looks like. It's not. This is not what all in looks like. And my fear is that when you finally build a good enough team, when you finally kind of have the defense elevated and a rounded out offense, you're now relying on a 36, turning 37-year-old Dak Prescott and a CD Lamb now who's going to be like 30 years old or so. Like, you're at the limits. I mean, let's look at Stafford. Stafford is 37, and he is absolutely undeniably hanging on by a thread. Absolutely undeniably hanging on by a thread. There was times when he was 35, 30, they were just kind of like, it's widely believed that the Rams and McVay wanted to go draft another quarterback, but they did not like any of the quarterbacks in this last draft. Otherwise, they would have drafted Stafford's replacement, but they kind of knew that this is all we got. I mean, people weren't even sure if Stafford was going to be able to play this year because of all his back issues. And when it gets a little too cold out there, Stafford doesn't look the same. Like, Stafford can get inconsistent. He's playing great right now, and credit to him. But and again, he's got an elite arm. He's got one of the greatest arms I've ever seen in the NFL. And so I'm sorry, that's not Dak's journey. So, like, this is what you need to focus on. And the problem is that you either believe that Dak is going to be able to play for the next, like, 8 years, or you don't. And the problem is that if I'm talking to the people that believe that Dak is going to be able to keep playing and he's going to be fine, 36, 37, 38, that's the new 29, like, then everything I say, you just fall, it falls on deaf ears. You don't care to hear it, which is fine. That's fine. But then we just fundamentally disagree. And then if we fundamentally disagree at that part, then we disagree then what these decisions mean. And so if I'm looking at Dak where I'm just like, hey, Dak is playing his best football right now. And this is what I said when Dak was playing his best football. I said, you made your mistake. My point is that going all in, this defense should already be great right now. That's what going all in is doing. You got Pickens, you got CD, you had Mike. Like, you should have been going all in right now. These are the moves that you make to significantly boost your team. And now it's like, okay, this year was kind of a bust, so then what are you going to be able to do next year? And it's not clear to me that by next season, that this is all going to be rounded out. Because now some of the draft picks that you do have, like I said, it's going to be another year or two before them to finally make an impact. And now the chances of Dak Prescott being as great as he is right now, 2-3 years from now, it's just not likely. So then it's like, so then what decisions do you need to make to be able to make this defense great right now? Or improve the O-line, or whatever else you think this team needs. Like, that's what you use the draft capital for. That's the decisions you make. And then maybe you do give up a 3rd round pick and get the guy that the Eagles got. And then maybe you do give out, and I'm not saying this was the best move for the Colts for Sauce Gardner or anything like that, but like my point is you leverage that and say, okay, we'll take Sauce. We'll take I can't think of his name right now from Miami. We'll take him. Like you now get immediate impact players today, right now. Let's go. Then you do turn Micah into like 3 or 4 players. Then you're not even really giving up. Like you're going to use some of those draft picks for an immediate impact player right now, but then still kind of be strategic, like using a 3rd or a 4th or whatever to get another immediate impact player right now. That's what this team needed to do. So then you could go into this coming season, either this season or the next, and say, we're ready now, let's go. And that's why I said I can't separate this from the Micah Parsons trade, because it's like you trade Micah Parsons before this last draft. Then you would have been able to immediately draft someone at least this year. And then now, at least now by next year, he's already a year within this system. He's already a year within now playing. So at least that accelerates it. Or you trade Micah, you get all the draft capital, and then you make another trade with some of that draft capital to get another impact player immediately today, right now. And then you build off of that. So that's why I just continue to struggle with this take or with this trade. It's not like it's inherently bad. The trade, the moves in isolation, maybe like Nick is saying, this is an absolute awful. This is an F. This is like the worst thing ever. I'm not necessarily saying that. I think it's a little bit more in the middle somewhere. But my big emphasis is, and that's why I just keep saying it again and again and again, is the timelines. And I just encourage you to think about the timelines, because, again, some people either accept it and they're like, oh, yeah, it's a good thought. Or other people are like, you're crazy. Like, what are you even talking about right now? And it's something that no one ever really wants to consider, unfortunately, but you do. You have to think about it. And I'm very confident. I want Dak to be able to play until he's 55. I want us all to be able to be healthy and young forever, okay? I want to be like that sci-fi movie, Time or whatever, with Justin Timberlake, where they all look like they're like 30 forever. Whatever the heck that movie is, where they got like times on their wrists. Weird movie, not a good movie. But I'd love to live like that forever. I would love nothing more for Dak to be balling at 40. I don't see it with Mahomes. I don't see it with Josh Allen. I don't see it with Lamar. I don't see it with anyone right now. I don't see it with Dak. Like right now, those situations are more outliers, and they're guided by their greatness more than anything. Aaron Rodgers, if you take away his incredibly high IQ football knowledge of his brand of special right now, if it was just his pure physical skill set, he would not be someone that people are looking to move forward with their franchise. You're just not. And that's Aaron Rodgers. That's Aaron Rodgers. He does not have the arm right now that Matthew Stafford has right now. He does not have that physicality right now. He's getting by on neck up more than anything else. On manipulating defenses, pre-snap, all that fun stuff. Understanding, I got to get rid of the ball. Like, reading defenses, all the good stuff. So, yeah, we'll see. We will see. But I do love that now everyone's kind of, especially part of the Dallas Cowboys franchise, like, this is like, it's like a dictatorship. Like, oh, kudos to Jerry, aggressive but smart. He's the best. Oh, hail Jerry. Like, what do you think these guys are going to say? I don't like these moves. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just, what do we, I don't know. It's always funny. It's always absurd to me. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about this trade? I'm curious also, like, what other reactions you've been hearing, because like I said, all the reactions that I've come across to this have been 100% split. People either absolutely positively love it or they absolutely positively hate it. So I'm curious where you fall on that spectrum, and also if your experience has been my experience in terms of how split it's all been. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.